You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your educational journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Creativity has long been regarded as a uniquely human trait, tied to imagination, self-expression, and cultural meaning. Yet artificial intelligence has begun to challenge this assumption by producing works of music, art, and literature that are not only technically impressive, but also emotionally evocative. From algorithms that compose symphonies to systems that generate portraits indistinguishable from those of human painters, AI is emerging as both a creative tool and, some argue, a creative agent in its own right. This frontier forces us to ask difficult questions. Can a machine truly create, or does it only imitate patterns it has learned? What happens to our notions of originality and authorship when code generates what once required human genius? At the same time, AI lowers barriers to artistic production, democratizing access to creativity. This episode explores AI's role in music, art, and writing, tracing its history, achievements, and the debates it inspires. AI creativity can be defined as the ability of systems to generate outputs perceived as creative by humans, whether in the form of melodies, paintings, poems, or stories. Importantly, creativity here is not measured by whether the machine possesses imagination, but by whether its products evoke novelty, value, and surprise, the qualities we typically associate with art. For example, if an algorithm generates a jazz improvisation that listeners enjoy and find original, it qualifies as creative in a functional sense, even if the system itself has no awareness of artistry. Philosophers and artists debate whether this is true creativity or sophisticated mimicry, but from a human perspective, the outcome often feels authentic. AI creativity highlights the distinction between process and product. While machines may lack intent, their ability to produce works that inspire or move audiences compels us to rethink long-held boundaries around what counts as art. AI in music composition has grown remarkably sophisticated, enabling algorithms to generate everything from simple melodies to full symphonic scores. Systems analyze vast libraries of existing music to learn harmonic structures, rhythmic patterns, and stylistic conventions, which they then recombine into new works. Some AI tools specialize in specific genres, creating jazz improvisations or electronic beats, while others compose orchestral pieces that mimic classical masters. In one striking example, researchers trained AI to complete unfinished compositions by great composers, offering speculative continuations in their style. Musicians increasingly use AI as a collaborator, drawing inspiration from machine-generated themes that they refine into polished works. While debates persist about authenticity, AI music highlights a new dimension of creativity: co-composition, where machines provide endless variation and humans shape artistic vision. Far from eliminating human musicians, these tools expand creative possibilities, offering inspiration, experimentation, and new ways to explore the infinite space of musical expression. Visual art has perhaps been the most publicized domain of AI creativity, particularly with the rise of generative models that produce striking images. Generative adversarial networks, GANs, can create portraits, landscapes, or abstract designs that resemble human works yet contain surprising twists. AI art has been exhibited in galleries and even sold at prestigious auctions, raising questions about authorship and value. Style transfer techniques allow artists to apply the brushstrokes of Van Gogh or the textures of Picasso to contemporary photographs, blending historical artistry with modern imagery. Beyond imitation, AI also creates entirely novel aesthetics, pushing the boundaries of what visual art can look like. These technologies democratize artistic production, enabling anyone with access to a tool to generate compelling images, regardless of traditional training. Critics worry this may dilute artistic standards, but proponents argue it expands participation and sparks new movements. AI visual art exemplifies both controversy and possibility, reshaping the conversation about creativity. Style transfer techniques exemplify how AI reimagines creativity by blending existing patterns with new content. In visual art, algorithms take the stylistic features of one image, say, the swirling brushwork of Van Gogh, and apply them to another, transforming photographs into paintings. In music, similar methods transfer rhythm or harmonic patterns from one genre into another, producing hybrids like a jazz interpretation of classical motifs. Style transfer highlights AI's ability to recombine aesthetics, producing novelty through fusion. While some see this as derivative, others view it as a continuation of artistic tradition, where influence and reinterpretation have always played roles. Artists use these tools not to replace originality but to explore possibilities quickly, experimenting with combinations that might otherwise take years to refine. Style transfer demonstrates AI's role as a catalyst, sparking creativity by making it easier to experiment with diverse forms and pushing boundaries of artistic expression in unexpected directions. Generative adversarial networks, or GANs, have revolutionized AI creativity by enabling machines to generate images, sounds, and even video with astonishing realism. GANs work by pairing two networks. One generates outputs while the other critiques them, creating a feedback loop that drives improvement. This process can yield lifelike portraits of fictional people, surreal dreamscapes, or imaginative reinterpretations of known objects. GANs have been used to generate everything from fashion designs to album covers, pushing creative industries in new directions. Their outputs sometimes blur the line between reality and fabrication, contributing to both artistic innovation and ethical concerns, such as deepfakes. In the creative arts, however, GANs are celebrated for their ability to surprise even their creators, producing results that feel imaginative and original. By simulating the tension between creation and critique, GANs embody a form of machine creativity that mirrors human processes of drafting and refining, expanding the horizons of artistic possibility. Large language models, such as GPT-based systems, have become central to debates about AI's role in writing. These models can produce essays, stories, scripts, and dialogue with coherence and fluency that rival human authors. Their versatility spans domains, from drafting technical reports to generating fictional narratives, making them powerful tools for both professionals and hobbyists. Supporters argue they democratize writing, offering assistance to those who struggle with expression or seek inspiration. Critics caution that outputs may lack depth, originality, or emotional resonance, raising questions about whether surface-level fluency equates to true creativity. Large language models also provoke legal and ethical concerns, as their training on vast datasets often includes copyrighted material. Still, their impact on creative writing is undeniable. They provide collaborators that can brainstorm endlessly, suggesting characters, themes, or prose styles. These models exemplify hybrid creativity, where human authors steer direction while machines generate raw material for refinement. Creative collaboration between humans and AI is becoming a defining feature of modern artistry. Musicians compose alongside AI systems that suggest harmonies or rhythms. Artists integrate algorithmic outputs into their canvases, and writers co-author texts with language models. These partnerships reflect a shift in creativity from solitary genius to interactive dialogue. Machines provide variation, scale, and computational novelty, while humans contribute intentionality, meaning, and aesthetic judgment. For instance, a choreographer might use AI to generate movement patterns, then select and adapt those that resonate emotionally. Collaboration reframes AI not as a rival, but as a creative partner, expanding rather than diminishing human expression. It challenges traditional notions of authorship, raising questions about credit, ownership, and originality. Yet it also opens exciting possibilities. Co-creation allows humans to explore ideas they might never have imagined alone, blending computation and intuition into new forms of artistic synergy. AI is also driving the democratization of creativity, lowering barriers for individuals who lack formal training in music, art, or writing. Consumer apps now allow users to generate paintings, compose songs, or draft stories with minimal effort, opening creative expression to broader audiences. For example, someone with no musical background can use AI tools to produce melodies that sound polished and professional. This accessibility fosters inclusivity, enabling people to explore artistic expression without traditional gatekeepers. Critics worry that democratization may flood markets with derivative works, diluting value and overwhelming audiences. Yet proponents argue that it empowers voices historically excluded from artistic production, enriching culture with new perspectives. Democratization highlights AI's potential as a cultural equalizer, transforming creativity from a rarefied skill into a widely shared practice. It signals a shift toward a world where everyone can participate in art-making, regardless of resources or expertise. Ethical questions loom large over AI creativity, particularly regarding originality, authorship, and ownership. If an algorithm produces a painting, who is the creator, the programmer, the user, or the machine itself? If AI-generated music closely mimics an existing artist's style, does it count as homage or plagiarism? These debates challenge traditional frameworks of intellectual property and artistic credit. They also raise moral questions about authenticity. Does a lack of conscious intent diminish the value of machine-generated works? Some argue creativity without awareness is hollow, while others insist the significance lies in audience perception, not authorial intent. Ethical reflection is essential to guide how societies value, regulate, and integrate AI creativity. Without it, innovation risks undermining human artistry or creating conflicts over ownership. Ethics ensures that as machines expand creative boundaries, humans retain responsibility for defining what counts as art, originality, and fair recognition. Copyright challenges intensify these ethical concerns as AI-generated works blur legal definitions of authorship. Current copyright law generally assumes human creators, leaving uncertainty about whether machine outputs can be protected. Disputes already arise over training data. Artists and writers argue their work has been used without consent to train generative models that now produce imitations. Legal systems face questions about whether users of AI tools own the outputs, whether developers hold rights, or whether works fall into the public domain. These unresolved issues have major implications for creative industries, affecting revenue, recognition, and incentive structures. Copyright law is evolving but lags behind technological progress, leaving artists, companies, and consumers in legal gray zones. Addressing these challenges will require balancing innovation with fairness, ensuring that AI creativity does not exploit human creators, while still encouraging the exploration of new artistic possibilities enabled by machine generation. The cultural impact of AI art extends beyond legalities, reshaping how societies perceive creativity and value. Works produced by algorithms prompt audiences to question whether meaning resides in the artist's intention or in the experience of the observer. When AI-generated paintings sell at auctions, critics debate whether the value lies in novelty, craftsmanship, or concept. Cultural institutions grapple with how to exhibit AI art as a technological curiosity, as a legitimate movement, or as a hybrid form blending human and machine expression. AI art also reflects cultural anxieties and hopes, symbolizing both fears of dehumanization and excitement about new frontiers. By challenging traditional boundaries, AI reshapes collective understanding of creativity, forcing societies to reconsider what art is, what it should represent, and how value is constructed in a world where machines play active roles in cultural production. Criticism of AI creativity often centers on the claim that machines imitate but do not truly create. Critics argue that without consciousness, intent, or emotional experience, AI-generated works lack authenticity. They may surprise or entertain, but ultimately derive from patterns of human-created data, recycling, rather than originating. Some artists worry that reliance on AI erodes the human essence of art, replacing lived experience with statistical mimicry. Others contend that creativity involves not just novelty but meaning, rooted in personal expression and cultural context qualities machines cannot replicate. Such criticisms serve as important counterpoints, reminding societies not to conflate technical fluency with artistic depth. Yet they also raise questions about how we define creativity itself. If audiences perceive machine outputs as meaningful, does their origin matter? The debate underscores that AI creativity is not only technical but philosophical, challenging our understanding of art, authorship, and originality. Opportunities from AI creativity extend far beyond imitation, opening possibilities for entirely new art forms and genres. Interactive installations powered by AI respond to audience movements or emotions, creating experiences that evolve dynamically. Generative music adapts in real time to listener mood, offering personalized soundscapes. Literary projects combine human writing with machine improvisation, producing hybrid narratives that defy conventional forms. These innovations expand the boundaries of creativity, suggesting that AI is not just a mimic but a catalyst for novel expression. By enabling collaboration, personalization, and interactivity at unprecedented scales, AI creates genres unimaginable in traditional frameworks. Opportunities also arise for cross-cultural exchange, as algorithms can blend musical traditions or artistic styles from around the world. Far from replacing human creativity, AI may expand its horizons, offering tools that spark experimentation and foster new movements that redefine what it means to make and experience art. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. AI in film and media production demonstrates how creativity is increasingly supported by intelligent tools behind the scenes. Filmmakers use AI to automate editing, analyze scripts for pacing, and even suggest casting decisions based on audience data. Special effects benefit as algorithms generate realistic visuals or restore degraded footage with astonishing precision. AI can also create virtual backgrounds, eliminating the need for costly on-location shoots, and generate dubbing or subtitles across multiple languages with natural flow. For streaming platforms, AI helps personalize trailers by selecting scenes that resonate with specific audiences. While directors and producers remain the architects of storytelling, AI accelerates workflows and reduces costs, enabling more resources to be invested in artistic vision. At the same time, the growing presence of AI in production raises questions about authenticity and whether audiences value efficiency over traditional craftsmanship. Still, film and media illustrate how AI can extend rather than diminish creative possibilities. Advertising is another domain where AI reshapes creativity, generating slogans, visuals, and targeted campaigns tailored to audiences. Marketers employ AI systems to analyze consumer data, predict preferences, and generate messaging that resonates with individuals. For example, AI can craft personalized advertisements that adjust tone, imagery, and timing for specific demographics or even individual users. Visual design tools generate graphics in multiple styles, allowing campaigns to adapt rapidly to cultural trends. Beyond efficiency, AI introduces new creative strategies. Algorithms can test thousands of ad variations simultaneously, identifying which combinations of words and images are most effective. Critics argue this may reduce creativity to data-driven optimization, prioritizing clicks over artistry. Yet many see it as a collaborative process, where AI provides insights and prototypes while human marketers infuse storytelling and emotional appeal. Advertising showcases AI as both analyst and creator, amplifying human imagination with computational precision and market intelligence. Video game design provides perhaps the most vivid examples of AI-driven creativity. Procedural generation systems create expansive worlds with unique landscapes, quests, and interactions, ensuring no two playthroughs are the same. AI also powers adaptive storylines, where narratives evolve in response to player choices, offering personalized experiences that blur the line between author and audience. Non-player characters benefit from AI as well, displaying more dynamic behaviors and dialogue that enhance immersion. Developers also use AI to balance gameplay, testing mechanics across countless scenarios to refine difficulty and engagement. The result is richer, more responsive environments where players feel like active participants in evolving stories. While some argue this automation reduces human authorship, many see it as a new kind of storytelling, where design shifts from crafting every detail to setting rules for emergent creativity. Games demonstrate AI's potential not only as a design assistant, but as a co-creator of interactive worlds. Personalized creative content takes AI's influence further, tailoring art, music, and writing to individual preferences. Streaming services already use recommendation systems to suggest movies or songs, but generative AI extends this personalization into production itself. For example, a user might receive music composed in real time to match their mood, or an AI-generated painting aligned with their aesthetic tastes. Writing platforms could generate short stories based on favorite themes or characters, offering unique experiences for every reader. This personalization transforms creativity from a mass-produced product into a deeply individualized service. While exciting, it raises concerns about cultural fragmentation, as people consume increasingly customized works rather than shared cultural artifacts. Still, personalized creativity embodies the promise of hybrid intelligence. Machines scale and adapt outputs while humans interpret and engage with them, creating experiences that feel uniquely personal yet remain part of a larger cultural dialogue. Emotional AI introduces an additional layer, generating works designed to evoke or respond to human feelings. By analyzing facial expressions, speech tone, or physiological signals, I can tailor creative content to amplify certain emotions. A music system might adjust tempo and harmony to heighten joy or soothe stress, while visual art tools generate calming or stimulating imagery depending on audience reactions. Storytelling platforms may shift narratives to elicit suspense or empathy, adapting to feedback in real time. Emotional AI challenges traditional models of art, where creators set emotional tones for audiences. Now, machines co-create emotional experiences with individuals. While this raises ethical questions about manipulation, it also offers therapeutic opportunities, such as AI-generated environments for mental health support. Emotional AI highlights how machines are learning not just to produce content, but to shape the emotional journeys embedded in creative works, opening possibilities for personalized, responsive, and deeply human-centered art. Human identity is increasingly entangled with creative AI, prompting debates about authenticity and artistic value. If a painting is generated by an algorithm, does it carry the same meaning as one born of human struggle and vision? Some argue that art derives its significance not only from the artifact, but also from the creator's experience, context, and intention qualities AI lacks. Others suggest that value lies in the viewer's experience. If an AI-generated piece moves or inspires, it fulfills art's purpose regardless of origin. These debates reflect broader concerns about authenticity in a digital age, where boundaries blur between human and machine contribution. They also reveal how AI creativity forces societies to re-examine the foundations of identity, authorship, and originality. Human identity remains central, but it is now refracted through collaboration with intelligent tools, raising questions about what it means to be an artist in a world where creativity is shared. Case studies in AI music highlight both achievement and controversy. Projects like OpenAI's MuseNet or Sony's Flow Machines demonstrate how algorithms can compose full-length pieces in various styles, from classical to pop. One Flow Machines project even resulted in a pop album marketed to the public, with songs co-written by AI. Audiences responded with fascination, praising the technical novelty while questioning the depth of expression. Another example is AI assisting composers by generating variations on themes or filling gaps in incomplete works. These case studies illustrate the spectrum of AI's role, from autonomous creator to collaborative assistant. They also highlight tensions. Is music without human emotion authentic, or is the collaborative model the true strength of AI? These projects show how music, often considered the most emotional of arts, becomes a proving ground for debates about machine creativity, authorship, and the evolving nature of composition itself. Visual art case studies further illuminate AI's creative role. In 2018, a portrait generated by a GAN called Edmond de Bellamy was sold at Christie's for over $400,000, sparking global debate about originality and authorship. Was the creator the algorithm, the programmer, or the collective data set of historical portraits it learned from? Beyond auctions, AI art has been exhibited in major galleries, often alongside human works, challenging audiences to distinguish and reflect on differences. Artists increasingly integrate AI tools into their practice, using them to explore themes of identity, surveillance, and the role of technology in society. These case studies show that AI art is not confined to novelty, but is carving a place in mainstream cultural discourse. They also reveal how institutions, markets, and audiences grapple with the meaning of art when machines join the ranks of creators, reshaping value and interpretation in profound ways. AI in literature has produced compelling case studies ranging from poetry to novels. Short stories generated by language models have been published in literary magazines, sometimes without disclosure until later, sparking discussion about fairness and transparency. Entire novels have been drafted with AI assistance, blending machine-generated prose with human editing to create hybrid works. Poetry offers another avenue, as algorithms compose verses that mimic established styles or invent new rhythms. Some critics dismiss these outputs as shallow, lacking the depth of human experience, while others find them intriguing experiments that expand literary form. These case studies show how literature adapts to AI by reimagining collaboration. Writers act as curators, editors, or partners rather than sole creators. AI literature challenges assumptions about originality and forces readers to question whether meaning resides in the author's intent, the text itself, or the interpretation of the audience engaging with the work. Everyday creative tools powered by AI have become widely accessible, enabling anyone to experiment with music, art, or writing. Smartphone apps generate portraits in artistic styles, compose personalized playlists, or draft social media posts. These tools democratize creativity, giving individuals without formal training the ability to express themselves in new ways. For instance, hobbyists can create digital paintings with AI brushes, while aspiring writers use AI for brainstorming or editing assistance. The ubiquity of these tools highlights AI's integration into daily life, where creativity is no longer reserved for specialists but woven into ordinary expression. Critics argue this may trivialize art, flooding the cultural space with low-quality works. Yet advocates emphasize inclusivity, celebrating how technology broadens participation and uncovers hidden talent. Everyday AI creativity illustrates how machines move from elite art spaces into personal contexts, reshaping creativity as a shared, accessible human experience. AI and cultural diversity form another critical dimension of creative debates. On one hand, generative models can promote diversity by blending global traditions, exposing audiences to art, music, and literature from cultures they might never encounter otherwise. On the other hand, risks arise if AI homogenizes culture, privileging dominant styles present in large datasets while marginalizing less represented traditions. Bias in training data may lead to cultural erasure or misrepresentation. For example, an AI trained primarily on Western art may struggle to capture indigenous or non-Western forms authentically. Addressing this requires intentional curation of datasets and collaboration with diverse communities. If done responsibly, AI could become a tool for preserving and amplifying cultural heritage rather than eroding it. Cultural diversity debates remind us that creativity is not only aesthetic but deeply social, reflecting whose voices are included and how identities are represented in a world shaped by algorithms. The future of AI creativity points toward hybrid artistic movements, where humans and machines co-create as equals. Already, collaborations in music, visual art, and literature show that AI thrives not in isolation but in dialogue with human imagination. Future trends suggest more immersive experiences, personalized art that evolves in real time, interactive installations blending audience and machine input, and global collaborations mediated by intelligent systems. Education in the arts may also shift, teaching students to use AI as a creative partner rather than treating it as a rival. These hybrid movements redefine creativity as a networked process, distributed across human and machine contributions. While some lament the loss of solitary genius, others celebrate the expansion of possibility. The future of AI creativity will not eliminate human artistry but transform it, weaving computation into the fabric of imagination to create new genres, styles, and cultural expressions. Preparing for an AI creative world requires adaptation across education, policy, and artistic communities. Schools must teach students to engage critically with AI tools, fostering both technical literacy and artistic judgment. Policymakers must address legal uncertainties about ownership, copyright, and authorship, ensuring fairness for human creators while recognizing new forms of production. Artistic communities must reflect on their roles, finding ways to preserve authenticity while embracing collaboration. Public engagement is also essential, helping audiences understand the opportunities and limitations of AI creativity so that fascination does not turn into exploitation or rejection. Preparing means cultivating balance, protecting human dignity and originality while encouraging innovation. It also means fostering inclusivity, ensuring that creative AI tools reflect and serve diverse cultures. An AI creative world is not a distant possibility, but an emerging reality, and readiness will determine whether it enriches society or deepens division. AI and creativity together reveal a domain where machines do more than execute. They co-create, expanding the boundaries of art, music, and literature. From GANs producing portraits to language models drafting novels, AI challenges assumptions about originality and authorship while democratizing access to expression. Debates about ethics, copyright, and cultural diversity underscore that creativity is not only technical but deeply human, tied to identity and meaning. Opportunities abound. New art forms, interactive experiences, and hybrid collaborations point toward a future where human imagination is amplified by computational partners. Yet risks remain, from homogenization to questions about authenticity. The key insight is that AI creativity is neither fully artificial nor fully human. It is hybrid, reflecting patterns of collaboration that blend machine power with human vision. In this partnership lies the potential to redefine what creativity means, opening horizons for culture, expression, and imagination in the age of intelligent machines. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.